Lionel Messi, also stopping by on Saturday, posing with the much bigger J.J. Watt in a picture that Watt captioned the best football player on the planet. One assumes that he is referring to Messi there, though it's certainly possible that he was purposefully vague. He's not so bad himself. Maybe a little bit full of himself, if that in fact was what he was referring to, was himself. Is he the best football Americano player on the planet?
Let me just say this before I answer the question. In my 11-year career, I was never on any list to be considered the best in the world. So this is a very humble opinion. No, I'm going to say he's not the best NFL player in the game. He's the most disruptive. But for me to label you the best player in the NFL, you would have to have a profound effect on your team in a way that they get to the Super Bowl and win it. You're only validated by a Super Bowl ring when you're considered the best, in my opinion.
Well, that's somebody different every year, though.
And that's going to be what the best player is. Like last year, to me, Tom Brady is the best player in the NFL. He is the absolute winner, and he's proved it time and time again.
J.J. Watt, I should point out, was #1 on the top 100 players this year. So the players in the league voted for J.J. Watt. Brian, what do you think?
Well, I'll look at it from this standpoint. If you were going to put the entire league into a common draft, who would go first? Well, the question is J.J. Watt the best non-quarterback? Because clearly the top quarterbacks would be drafted first. So let's put them aside. Who would be the first player off the board at the non-quarterback position? I think it would be J.J. Watt. I can't think of anybody. I mean, there's a lot of good players to pick through. And as Nate says, it's a kind of a humbling experience to even talk about it. But I'm not sure there's a bigger impact player on the field that, from a coach's standpoint, if you were going to select someone first, I'm not sure it wouldn't be J.J. Watt.
Coach, that's a great point, and I feel you on the first guy being off the board usually being a quarterback. But for me, if I'm picking a guy straight off the board, I'm going to go with the running back position. Now, I just said Tom Brady's the best player last year because he won last year. But if I had to pick a guy to start a team with, I'm picking Marshawn Lynch. It's going to be the offensive side of the ball for me. It's either going to be a quarterback that can control the game or a running back that can control the game. So for me, it's Marshawn Lynch. So, Coach, I'm going to have to disagree with you on the fact that it has to be a quarterback or even J.J. Watt coming first off the board.
Nate, I love the fact you're old school. You're an old soul beyond your years, because a running back hasn't been the most dominant player in this league since Jim Brown. I mean, we don't draft to it. It's all by committee now. We haven't had a leading rusher in the NFL go to and be the #1 player in the Super Bowl anyway. I love the mentality, but I kind of go back to the show me the money. Who are you going to draft first? To me, it's going to be a J.J. I love Marshawn Lynch, but it certainly wouldn't be a running back be the first guy I take off the board after I take my quarterback.
Maybe Nate's got fantasy on the brain, too.
A little bit.
Because you definitely got to go running back first in fantasy.
And this question would be very different if the Houston Texans were contenders, or they were even in the Super Bowl. I think everybody would have a different opinion on just how much of an impact J.J. Watt has had on that team and on the season in a whole.
Maybe that will change in the coming years.